But welcome.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Tony,
ready.
Tony the Closer Robinson, okay? Ex-NFL, Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
I am not an NFL girl. I know a lot of people will drag me for that, but I don't know shit about football.
Well, it's okay.
No, I don't. Like,
okay.
And I've always avoided like dating guys that watch football because that shit is like a culture.
It is. It's a fan fest that's different.
Yeah.
You got to be in.
You got to be in, and I'm like, I'm selfish about my time, so I can't spend time with you on Sunday because you watching football, like, and then the tailgating, the what do you call them little parties that they have at like the bars where they're.
Football can be deep, and people go crazy over it. So you can go super heavy.
And then I find out it's like a nonprofit organization making billions and trillions of dollars. Nonprofit. I'm in the wrong business.
It's called legalized slavery.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Legalized slavery.
Yeah. Like
it's the cattle. Like I was the true definition of it. You go in, you get prodded, and you go through the whole process, and then when you get injured or something's wrong with you, a defective product, and then they go, we're going to get some new ones.
Yeah. How long did you play?
A year and a half.
Okay, so very short career.
I got injured, yes.
Okay. Now, did you go like right out of high school, or did you finish college?
So I went to college, and then I was an undrafted free agent. So I wasn't like what you see when people go and get the first round draft pick and all the money. I was actually one of the guys that had to go the hard way. And it's kind of like how I built up my online presence as well. I went the untraditional way. So I was an undrafted free agent, got picked up essentially I went to every single team and sent them my highlight film and said, hey, look, watch 30 seconds. If you don't like these 30 seconds, I'll never reach out to you again. Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't picked up. I went to a black HBCU, Winston-Salem State.
So you pitched yourself to the football teams. I didn't even know you could do that.
Most people don't.
Hey, that's pretty slick though. Because most people are like, oh, I can never do this. Like, so you went just like as a business proposal and you, hey, I need you to invest in me.
Everybody has a dream, right?
Okay.
We all got dreams.
Right.
But when the dream doesn't come the traditional way, what do you do next? And that was where I was at. I was literally in a position where I was a defensive player of the year for Division II football. I was all conference, all everything. But because I played at a smaller school, you just didn't get the recognition. So how do you get in front of those people? I had to start thinking differently. And that's kind of how I built what I'm doing now on social media. Same way. I
was going to say, because like it took me a minute to try to figure out like what it is that you do. Like you have hella followers. You posting Louis Vuitton, Gucci every day, buying the girl roses, you know what I'm saying? Buying her diamonds. You came in with her on your shirt. I was just like, okay, I'm going to get him. I know you're in real estate, wholesale real estate.
Wholesaling.
I've never heard of wholesale real estate unless I'm buying a property like I do here. Like I buy properties cash. Okay. So I don't know if you consider that the wholesale per se, but like I was just
You're the cash buyer. So we want to actually show you how we connect with you. So all the people that are watching, I'm gonna teach you how you can connect with Tasha because she's obviously investing in property, and you probably look for great deals, right?
I do.
And most people that got
I have like a $75,000 and under price, and then
But that's how we actually station our buyers. So as a wholesaler, what we do is we look for off market properties that we can find, and basically middleman for you, the end buyer. Most people make it really complicated. I call it the pawn shop of real estate. You've been in the pawn shop before, right?
Yes, I've been to pawn shops.
So who goes to the pawn shop? People that need money quick, right?
People that need money, the crackheads and stuff like that. That's what I typically call them.
We say crackheads. We say people that are in bad situations. See, me, a few years, like 2017, I was in a bad situation. I was needing money. And I went to the pawn shop and I had a Louis set. Like Louis bag and all that. And I thought I was balling at the time. And you know how we always spend more than we actually can afford.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do that. Not no more. I filed bankruptcy and stuff, and I'm not messing up nothing no more.
I did bankruptcy, repossession. I've been in that position. Okay. So like in 17, I was actually taking and turning in my Louis set. I paid like $3,500 or $4,000 for it at the pawn shop. They offered me like $700. And you know how it is. Like, who takes $700 for something that's worth $3,500? Somebody's in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, when you think about wholesaling, it's kind of the same mindset. The people that we want to talk to aren't people that are like in Tasha K's position that are financially in a great position. We're looking for people that want that money quickly because they're in a bad spot. And we basically now we'll put it like as a wholesaler. You don't have to have a license, really no experience at all. You can connect as the middleman and basically say, hey, look, I know Tasha K is looking for houses that are 75 and under. Okay, so I can find a house that's worth 35. I mean, that's worth 75 or less, and maybe I get it for 35 grand, and I can sell it to Tasha for 40 grand. I can make $5,000 and I never have to pull any money out of my pocket.
That's what's up, because like the reason you're here is because I'm all about like financial wealth, financial literacy. There are tons of scammers out there. I constantly see you. I mean, I think you just tweeted tonight. One of my my interns sent it to me. Let me pull it up.
Oh,
you just
Lord.
called out a guy. You said, so Maxwell just got engaged to a side chick. LOL. The internet was a wild place. So this apparently is another realtor. Like
he's a real estate investor.
He's a real estate investor. So this is like your rival.
I don't have rivals.
Okay.
I don't operate in that space.
But I've seen you like calling out like other people for scamming people in the real estate industry. He's
actually not what we would call a scammer, but he's on the finesse end of what we would call it. He's not actually
put it out there.
He's not actually taking away from people. Like Jay Morrison, scammer. Like scam me. I can say it for a fact. Max, what he does is he kind of uses his influence. He really don't like black women and all that stuff, but he will use the blackness to, you know, it's
the
a
pander
finesse.
to black women to get them.
It's finesse, but like he's all about, you know, the women.
I was just wondering, you know, I just wanted to, because the reason you're here is because like I know a lot of people, you know, COVID, I saw an article in Forbes about you. And it was more so about you creating, I guess, a Rona-proof way to make money because millions of people lost their jobs or either wanted to not go to work. And now they're forced with you get vaccinated or you can't work. And so a lot of people are still out of jobs. I mean, you'll be surprised, like our economy just hit flat. I mean, we can't even really get new cars in, products to build houses and things like that. And so I call it the used house market is booming right now. People need houses. There's nowhere to live in Atlanta. And because renters, like apartment complexes know that, you know, and I like to use Atlanta as a base, they are charging crazy amounts for rent.
If you think Atlanta's bad, go to Miami. I live in Miami.
No, listen, and that's the market I'm coming next. I have to get a spot in Miami because I do so much business in Miami that I'm tired of throwing my money away on Airbnb. So guess what? I'm gonna be an Airbnb owner, and when I have to come stay there, I'm gonna stay in my spot.
Very, very
so,
smart.
yeah, and I'm about to get in before it really gets unaffordable. But you know, just talking with my viewers more so about, because you know I know they see the bling. You know, you iced out. You know, how much is a watch, like per se?
That's $30,000.
$30,000. You are wearing a car. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole car that people finance over 7 years. You know what I'm saying? The necklace. What we got here?
That's 6 figures.
6 figures. When you say 6 figures,
it's
ballpark.
It's 6 figures.
It's 6 figures. Okay, so we're in an undisclosed.
I'm not putting a line on my head, y'all.
Look, no. We're in an undisclosed location. I don't play all those games or anything like that. Yeah. You see where we at? Way out. You know what I'm saying?
In the cut.
In the cut. You know what I'm saying? We ain't near no type of hot zones. They call them zone 1, zone 2, zone.
Yeah, there's some zones out here.
We're out of that zone. So, and I definitely don't want to put a mark on your head, but like, I mean, your Instagram is very telltale. I've been watching you. And you and I came across when you reached out to me about a situation about a blogger, okay, that was, what happened? Like he was trying to expose you and you reached out for me to help. And I was just like, I don't think it's a good idea for me to help. I got a million people that's going.
Yeah. So I'm super transparent for starters, right? Okay. So we can dig into any and everything.
Let's do it.
I think at the time what was happening was there was a podcast that came out where a young man from Atlanta had basically told people to commit bank fraud. And, you know, the way I operate, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, somebody's mom, cousin, or whatever is going to look at you because you're considered a trusted financial source. And then they're going to go do that. They're going to go to fucking jail.
Now, when you say the bank fraud, what is it?
So basically, it was a podcast where a gentleman basically had got on the podcast and he told the viewers to go and commit bank fraud. He told him to go to Navy Federal Credit Union, use a fictitious VIN number, act as if you're going to actually pull out a loan for a vehicle, but actually keep the money, never get a vehicle, and then you do whatever you want to as a personal loan. And as I saw that, I knew that, like, it went viral. Like, his clip actually went viral, and that's how it came back to me. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You know, it's a lot of people that's sitting in this room that's with you that are, like, you know, considered financial gurus or whatever you may call them, and have big platforms, and nobody spoke up and said, well, wait a minute, like, that's not legal. And I think, like, when we get in positions where you got a platform, you got a responsibility. And too many people just follow the wave of whatever somebody's saying. And I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not legal. You're going to have innocent people going and committing bank fraud. You're not going to get in trouble because your ass isn't going to do it. And then when I called it out, basically he went to Jason Lee because him and Jason Lee had business with Hollywood Unlocked. He went to Jason Lee, and basically Jason Lee tried to pull out my past. One thing about me, I'm transparent as they come. Growing up, I grew up in a domestic violence household. I then in turn went through my own shit with domestic violence. So 2017, I was arrested, and I had a $1.2 million bond for an incident that happened with me and the girl I was in love with. And,
oh, wow. Okay, see, I didn't even know all the details.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was public. I talked about it on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, where I basically said, hey, Meek Mill fucked my girlfriend. And
is that true?
It was true. Very true. And at the time, you know, when it happened for me, like, I lost my shit, and you know, I didn't handle it properly. Okay. So I went to jail, and I did my time. Well, when I was calling out the bad behavior and the incorrect information that was being shared, what they decided is that they would take and try to turn that by now trying to expose what I had already shared with everybody, which was my past, to try to deflect from the actual truth. So Jason Lee had some type of video where he was online, like, looked like he was doing some type of drugs, whether it was coke, whatever, looked like he was high as shit. And
I remember that video. I posted that.
Right, yeah. So he was like messing with Safari.
It looked like perks.
Yeah.
It looked like heroin. Looked like him.
It looked like something.
It was something.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just drool on your mouth on live.
So I had posted that, and I was just like, I'm uncomfortable as a straight male. If I'm doing an interview, I don't care if you gay or whatever. I don't mind gay men. You do your thing. But, like, if I'm doing an interview with you, you're not going to be making any passes at me. So I made a comment on my post like, hey, like, this is wrong. Like, I don't care what you feel as a platform or whatever, but when you get up here and now start, like, if I did this as a man, I would be ridiculed all across the world. So he didn't like the fact that I had called out disrespectful behavior. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know Jason. I don't have a problem with Jason. Like, I did business with Hollywood Unlocked as far as doing some promotion for my company. How'd that go for you? Shitty. Like, you know.
I just had to put that out there. No, because we've had so many advertisers come to us and they're like, we're coming from here and nothing. Zero. All right, winos, we are actually live from my dining room. My family and I have just had dinner. We've cleared the table, and now I am here, and you guys are going to see another part of what I do as a part of my health regimen, okay? Now, I've taken antibiotics my entire life. I've stripped my gut health of everything. On top of that, I put gluten on top of that, and it has helped to destroy, more of my gut health, even leading me to have an appendectomy, okay? I have low mood swings, okay? Low mood swings, all the above, depression, okay? Bloating, fatigue, all right? All because I've stripped my body of what it needs. I'm more prone to infections, bacterial, yeast, you name it. And after seeing my doctor, thank goodness, okay? They highly recommended that I use a daily supplement of a prebiotic and probiotic. And so I've chosen Teamy Blend's Gut Love. I love it because it's vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy, soy-free, sugar-free, so much so I have to read all this, corn-free, no binders, and I like to put it in the mornings. I like to use it in the mornings in my smoothies, because you guys know that I am a daily smoothie drinker, green juice drinker, carrot juice drinker, or after dinner or after a meal, okay, with water, all right? And so you guys are gonna see me take this, and this has about 20 billion, okay, strains, 7 different strains, 20 billion of, I cannot pronounce these probiotics, but it's like Bacillus, Subtilius, Lactobacillus, all the stuff that our gut needs to help protect us from foreign invaders. And because I've taken antibiotics, I don't have any. And this is how I get them, okay? And this is how I stay out of the hospital. And this is how I stay from getting sick, okay? And so I've just put my scoop in there. It's a nice little cute chunky scoop, okay? Now, for you guys are thinking that this is probably nasty, it's not. It actually tastes really, really nice, okay? And for those of you guys that aren't water drinkers and you have to flavor your water, why not flavor your water with Teamy Blends Gut Love, and this is the triple berry flavored powder, okay? This is actually my favorite, okay? And so all I do is put it in there. I'm gonna stir it just a little bit. Go like this. And that's after every meal, okay? In a meal. This is what I do in order to keep my ass from getting sick, okay? And so I'm gonna need you guys to get on top of your gut health. You may suffer from allergies, all sorts of things, okay? It's because your immune system doesn't have any type of support. And we all know that the immune system is in the gut. So if you're constipated, you ain't letting it out, okay? If you're not constipated and you don't have anything helping to keep foreign invaders out, this is what you need to be doing, okay? And so Teamy Blends has offered us, because this is actually one of my favorite products, I can't live without it, a coupon code, 20% off using the code UNWINE, okay? The link is below in the description box. I highly recommend this because I know a lot of y'all, just like me, grew up in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, and you took a shitload of antibiotics. And so guess what? You're probably sick, got allergies, mucus, all sorts of things in your body because you don't have anything to help fight those off, okay? But take advantage of the coupon code offered by Teamy Blends UNWINE and get your 20% off now, okay? Now get out of my dining room. I'm about to go to bed.
For me, I didn't get a lot. And then what was funny is they actually reached out back to me multiple times to like continue advertising, but like because I didn't get any good returns on my investment, like I wasn't obviously interested. So when I called out Jason and Marcus him 500 for this whole like bad information that was given out, they partnered up basically to try to come at me and attack my past, which it is what it is. I've been 2017. I was a low life. I was a loser. I'll take every bit of like ridicule, anything like because I did it. I live it. Like that was part of who I am. I literally use that to help impact and help people move forward because I grew up in a household that my dad beat the shit out of me and everybody in the household. We didn't like it became normal to have that stuff, and I think a lot of times we start pointing and looking at people, but we never look at like kind of like the stuff behind the doors that actually kind of creates that. But what I did is I went through counseling. I went through abuser treatment counseling. I went and actually got help for the stuff that I needed personally to know how to grow. Because in our community we talk about everything but the fact of healing. Because we can point and pick and talk about all this other shit. Hey, somebody can be wrong. They can make the mistakes. They can do all this wrong stuff. But what do you do like once you now understand what you're doing? How do you now handle yourself as you know better? Because I grew up, a lot of that shit was normal. We looked at Ike Turner and all the memes that we see in our community that like we normalize.
Yeah, he beat Tina ass, and they still joke about eating cake anime.
We use it as a joke.
Like, and that's really a sad situation.
It is.
Yeah.
In our community, we don't take domestic violence. We don't take like abuse. We don't take sexual abuse, any of that shit serious unless it happens to you. And for me, I realized at the time, like obviously, like dealing with a $1.2 million bond, it opens up your eyes to everything in your life. Like you better know, like at that point, shit is serious. So for me, I was like, I don't want to be back in this place. I don't want to put my family in this place. I have 2 young boys who I don't want to continue the pattern of what I grew up surrounded around. So I had those conversations with my kids first and foremost, because that's what's important to me, is to make sure they understand, this isn't okay. Having my 15-year-old and my 9-year-old boy, like understanding that your dad's in jail for doing something that was like abusive, it hurt me. Like obviously, and I wanted to make sure I did something that opened up where I could be a better dad. I didn't even care about social media or being judged because at that time I wasn't even known online. But I started.
Did you ever apologize to?
1,000%.
Okay. Did she accept your apology?
I don't know if she accepted it or not.
Okay.
Like, like how somebody feels after the fact, I can never address or do that. All I can do is correct my behavior, make sure it doesn't happen again. And like to even use my platform as a way of transparency to help other people, because domestic violence happens in damn near 1 out of 4 households. We got to talk about, like, we start talking about facts and what's going on. most of us don't talk about it. Like, we just act like it happens in one household. For me, I grew up, everything about it was just normal. Like, and it was, to me, I found out somebody was cheating, I was slapping, and I'm thinking like, well, she cheated so I could slap. I could go crazy. And that's how it was normalized around me. But then, you know, you go to jail, she did whatever she wanted to, and she's free. I'm not.
Why not go after the man?
Because the man I didn't know Meek Mill. I didn't have a beef with Meek Mill.
Okay.
Like, and even on the podcast when I talk about it, I was like, this is a relationship that I had amongst me and a female. Like, this man was doing what most men would do when you have an attractive woman jump in front of you. So for me, and even now, as I've learned, I wouldn't even put myself in that same type of situation. You see me with a female all across my shirt, right? My girlfriend, Nicole, she's all over everything I do. I like put her to the moon. I
saw
her
like,
business.
You know, she has a clothing line, like, and she's in Nordstrom's.
Right, she's amazing.
Yeah, I was just like, that was really dope, you know. So
she just did.
Especially being a black woman.
Black woman doing American Girl dolls. She designed American Girl. She's in Nordstrom. She's really breaking a lot of barriers. We got some stuff that I can't even talk about right now that is going to be amazing just for the culture and what people can see differently than what we traditionally get offered, even like from the white audiences. Like, when you talk about like dolls and things like that, I ain't gonna get too deep, but we got some dope stuff that's actually coming about. But, you know, as a man, when you look at how you go into new relationships, how you deal with relationships, how you deal with trauma, I had to learn how to like really grow through a lot of stuff that was normalized in my community, in my household, that I had to fix. So I ate my L, and that was the most important piece. But I got online and I shared my story from no followers to where I am now, where I'm 260,000+ followers of true, like, hey, real estate was just a vehicle, right? Like, I'm helping a lot of people make money. And like, when you say you came on my page, you see a whole lot of different things. But the biggest thing I do is I like impacting our community and our people. I feel I find myself more as a motivational speaker than an actual real estate educator, investor, or anything else, because I know the amount of people that I impact just by my story. Being broke, losing everything, and having that NFL lore that most people look at, to like now having to rebuild and like fix your face and coming forth with the negative part. Most people look at you when you say, hey, you made a mistake, and that's it. They don't give you another opportunity. Most people, when they make a mistake, they don't give themselves another opportunity. It's over. So for me, I got to a place where I had to overcome a lot of stuff, like the bonds. Then as I started coming, like, it was like everything and anything that could go wrong went wrong. But I stayed true. I stayed honest. I didn't want to shortcut anything. I didn't want to, you know, cheat anybody. Like, you see right now, everybody's just, you know, whatever to get to the top is what they do.
I mean, it's like, it's very questionable if anybody's on Instagram saying, hey, pay me this for me to teach you that.
100%.
And then I can't like get a real review. You know, because a lot of times we can pay for the likes, we can pay for the comments, you know, we can pay for the followers. And so I just felt like, you know, it's when I come to pages like yours and I see the Louis Vuitton, I see the Gucci, I see the cars, I see the houses and stuff like that. And then you do dwell in real estate, but real estate agents have always been very, very flashy. The ones here in Atlanta, of course, people are more attracted to it. You know, it's unfortunate.
Let me cut you off for a second. Let me tell you why this shit is on. I don't even like it.
Okay.
It's the only way they pay attention. Let's talk deep. It's the only fucking way they pay attention.
It's very true. I mean, because if somebody walked up to me with regular clothes saying, hey, will you give me, I don't know, $60,000, you know,
I don't even ask for money.
I know you don't ask for money, but I'm saying.
I've literally had programs where I teach people for free.
Okay.
They won't pay attention until they see something that they actually want. Like, I was actually teaching people 31-day free trainings, but I was wearing a T-shirt, regular clothes. I didn't have a Lamborghini, and I got 2 Lamborghinis and all this stuff now. They didn't fucking pay attention. The minute that I put the flash and the jewelry, now they're watching. It's weird how we operate, but we look at the people that, you know, and that's why the scammers get away with what they do, because they come in with the scammer kit. They come in with the money, they come in with the jewels or the look of that, the lure of that.
And see, to me, because I'm, you know, I don't consider myself like, I mean, I consider myself wealthy, but am I out here double M's in the bank? No, but everything that comes in, it's reinvested. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have just money just sitting in the bank. I mean, yes, you have, the savings and stuff like that, but my money is making money. You understand what I'm saying? It does no justice sitting in the bank. But for me, when I see the flashiness, that's a red flag to me because most people with money don't need to flash. And so to me, I do feel like sometimes people use it to lure people in. And then a lot of times that's when they do end up being scammed. But at the same time, it's like, it's rare that you find someone that's actually using it just to get you in to teach you something free. So so do you mean to tell me there's no, like when somebody comes to you to learn how to invest in real estate, buy wholesale, you're not asking for anything in return. You're making your money solely doing what you do and giving this knowledge for free to mainly African Americans to help them get out of the poverty gap.
Let's be perfectly clear. Okay. I do have paid programs.
Okay.
100%. So I would never mislead anybody in believing that. Okay. 90% of what I do is 100% free. Whether it's through YouTube, I mean, I've free webinars, free. I want you to know it. You go to my YouTube channel, I literally have what I have in my course for free.
Okay.
The reality is most people, they don't pay until they pay attention.
You're a mentor.
100%.
Well, I take people serious. Like, my thing is, especially, I'm the only entrepreneur in my family. Well, the first. My sister just became an entrepreneur. And so that's I'm talking about aunts, moms, cousins, everybody. Like, you got to understand, we were in poverty. I'm not supposed to, you go home to my hometown, I'm not supposed to have all this. How did you do this? You in witchcraft, you in something. They don't understand, listen, really building wealth is all about who you know. And, when I see, people that, they want it for free, I'm cautious about that too, because I don't want you wasting my time. I don't have a lot of time. Like my kids are, the most important part of me. I have a husband, I have other things that I'm doing, and employees depending on me. You know what I'm saying? So me wasting that valuable time. Whereas if you really serious, you see what I got going on here, pay your money and come learn.
100%.
Yeah.
See, here's what I believe. I know that there's a group of people who have the means and the resources to invest and go and buy programs and do all that. I'm from North Philly originally. My family broke as hell. People I grew up around broke as hell. You don't have $1,000 to be able to put into a program. You don't have $2,000, $3,000 to learn credit. I got a whole 3-hour training on my YouTube channel, how to get your credit clean for free. Why? Because the credit is the most important piece for any one of us as a human being right now, just to be able to maneuver and do the basic things. Imagine going and trying to buy a car, you don't have any credit and they tell you 16 to 20%, but your average income for most black people is $31,000 a year.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you start talking about the numbers, you can't even really get good rates. You can't get good, nothing's to our advantage because we got bad credit. We don't know how to manage credit. Our mom or dad didn't teach us much about credit. So I think the bare necessities, of understanding, how you use credit, how you get trade lines or whatever that stuff is, it should be free. I think I see too many people monetizing and taking advantage of stuff that should be basic and, shit.
Well, that part I will have to disagree because, when you're cleaning people's credit up, it's time consuming.
Not the cleaning part.
You understand what I'm saying?
Talking about from
the basic knowledge of it. Because I was just I've done it. That shit is time consuming. And if you want, and then they go and fuck it up.
See what I say about credit repair?
Yeah.
Even credit repair itself, right? I've done everything from cleaning credit to trade lines. I'm very, very versed in the credit industry.
Yeah.
I understand what it takes. What I see a lot of times, which I speak on, people are doing they're not cleaning credit. They're doing credit sweeps or FTC affidavits, which is fucking illegal, first and foremost, if it wasn't actual fraud to happen. So what's happening is people are spending $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 or more. They're thinking somebody's actually going to go through and legally clean their credit. And somebody says, hey, go file a police report. Let me get your driver's license. Let me get your most recent utility statements and things of that nature. I'm going to charge you $1,000+ because I'm going to help your credit get so much better and improve. Most people don't realize that if you have something that has been fraudulently done on your account, you can go to the FTC, you can file these complaints, and typically within like 72 hours, that shit will be taken off your credit report. So these people are now playing off the ignorance of people that don't know any better. Mm-hmm. So you got people that are now making thousands of millions of dollars by telling people, hey, I'm going to clean your credit. And they're not actually indeed doing any of that. They're actually just filing a police report and doing shit that most people don't know about. Which is like, to me, just like, I don't like that shit. Like, I don't like taking advantage of like people that look like me. I don't like taking advantage of somebody that like might be my cousin, my sister, my mom, somebody that like, might be somebody else's people. So I take offense even if it don't have nothing to do with me. So a lot of times like people are like, why you always in somebody else's business? I'm like, well, maybe that ain't me, but that could be my cousin or my sister that's looking at that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, and you goddamn doing stuff that like just don't sit well with me. Like, if you really, because a lot of these guys, like, they go like Jay Morrison, he go talk about the black Wall Street, black this, and then you never see him in Oklahoma. You never see him go like, you go use all these black traumas, black things, and then where your black ass at? Mm-hmm. If you're gonna talk about, oh, I care about the black community, I care about black people, then those black dollars that you are accumulating should go back into the black community. Mm-hmm. But what you see is these guys go and get that money and they go buy whatever to make themselves look like that. And then they start talking down on the very same people they just fucking funded the money from. Yet and still not trying to actually empower or help those people. That's my issue. So when I start looking at guys that use black trauma per se, because they play off the emotion of a lot of the stuff, but they'll go, oh, I'm here for the black community. I want to see the black community win. And people get brainwashed into just hearing a black man talk about black shit. So you say Marcus Garvey, or you say one of these, our elders or our ancestors, and all of a sudden this nigga's all about, no, he's not. No, he's not. Because he's stealing from the same people that we talking about. Last year I did a protest here in Atlanta against Jay Morrison. I did an event with him.
Damn, you were really serious about this.
Yeah, I did a conference with him. We partnered on the conference.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, 2 weeks before the conference, he backs out.
So and he took like thousands of dollars.
96 and some change in strike money. Plus we had $100,000 giveaway. He's supposed to do 50. Now we talk about black people that care about black business and doing ethical shit. Now you got me 2 weeks before an event. Now I'm, for the first time in my life, I'm dealing with lawsuits and shit that derive from you actually backing out of an event doing bullshit. Like we always.
So did you have to end up paying all those people back? So
I actually fulfilled the event. The problem was I still had, like, he damn near made me go bankrupt at that time because it was so much money I had already invested into that project. That project was like basically my coming out party. I had like basically 20-something thousand followers. I was just building my brand. The money that I had from, like you say, you investing, my that was my biggest investment. I had went all into building my event. This was a $250,000+ event. And then I'm taking a loss because of attrition on the hotel and all this other stuff that happened because I partnered with a guy, and then 2 weeks before the event, he tells people he's backing out and that there's no event. So much came behind that. And then what happened, essentially, I called him out about what he did with me, and then it's like all his skeletons came out. You know, all the scamming, all the bad business deals. I mean, like, it just, ex-wives coming out, baby mom. I talk to everybody that this nigga know. Like, baby mama on the phone with me, ex-wife on the phone.
You need to be a blogger. Listen, you need to be a blogger, Tony, because you got the wine.
So when they call me the 50 Cent of real estate.
Okay.
Because, like, once you go there with me, I want smoke, and I'm not going to back down. So I went to his front door. Like, I went straight to his front door. His neighbors giving me cookies and water because they like, we don't want these type of people in our neighborhood. The reality is don't nobody want to really, once you learn who the person truly is, don't nobody want that around them.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, for me, I don't want to, like, when people look at my brand, they look at, like, a lot of people assume that, like, he just likes to attack people. A lot of times you see the reaction. You see what happens when, like, somebody goes and does something foul, and then you just kind of, most people don't see the actual shit that went down. They see, like, me calling him out or like, pulling up at his front door or doing all the stuff that was going down.
I mean, that was $250,000.
$250,000. But beyond that,
I would be doing more than that. Listen.
But beyond that, you talking about
Did you ever sue him? Sorry about that.
So we're actually in court right now. I got like an $800,000+ lawsuit.
So you were able to find him and serve him, and things like that. So did he respond?
So right now it's a whole lot. He's probably on like his third attorney in this actual case. So he's been he playing the game. Let's start this shit out. Let's make it take as much time as possible. I probably spent now in attorney fees close to $80,000. Just dealing with most people don't realize when they're like, just sue them. Fuck, I wish it was. They don't realize how expensive it is to go through the actual legal proceeding. But I think for me, I just like transparency. I like being real, raw. Sometimes it makes people uncomfortable, but I come from a place that's pure. I wanted to really, truly. I came to this thing in 2019, and I told people it's our turn. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic. I want to help people win. I want to see people win. And I took my platform and I use it as far as not just real estate, not just credit, but let's talk about life. Let's talk about experiences. I mean, you want to talk about donations? I think I've made probably $7 to $8 million or more from like courses, trainings, and stuff like that in the community since I've been on. I put $1 million of that back into the community.
Doing what?
I went into Walmart last year, put $60,000 in just black women that was buying groceries for Christmas time.
Okay.
I came to Atlanta, same type of stuff. People that have been scam victimized. I think Jay Morrison's victims alone, I paid out over $50,000. During Christmas, Thanksgiving, those holiday seasons, I do closer clause. So all your audience, come check me out on closer clause. Okay. 12 days of Christmas, leading up into Christmas, I go either to families' houses. You see it on my Instagram Live, where I'm literally just taking families, blessing families. Typically, I'm giving out anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a night.
God damn. Knock on my door.
but it was important to me, like not only to, because a lot of people come and take from the community, they talk about the community, but to truly pour back into these same people. Now, here's the most important piece. I've helped business owners, and I remember this woman who had a divorce she was going through with her husband, had lost a child. She now has a thriving business based off the donations that took place on my live. So it's like this community that's actually building from good deeds. I just had something that literally today was posted on Spiritual Word. I had that live event that I talked about. I was broke at that event. Like after having all the stuff that was going, I had $8,000 and some change left in my account. As I land in Las Vegas, I bump into one of my followers. This dude, literally, as I walk into the MGM, this is how God works. It's like crazy as hell. I walk in the MGM. This dude walks up to me like, Tony the Close, I'm a fan, da-da-da-da. Come on, man, what's up? I'm just being nice, and I bring him with me. I go to the dispensary. We hanging out. Before I know it, he's like kind of opening up to me. He flew to the event, didn't have a hotel room, didn't have nothing. Beyond that, he was actually up for eviction. So he was about to lose his place. This dude flew to Las Vegas with basically like a hope and a prayer. He wanted to learn the game. He wanted to figure out how he can get into real estate. But he took a leap of faith. He took that leap of faith and came to my event, ended up getting blessed. I told him on stage in front of everybody, hey, look, I'm going to take care of your next 3 months of rent. He was about to get evicted that day. Like literally the day of the event, he was about to get evicted. He lived with his mother. I come and find out, and I'm gonna show you this clip.
Okay.
His mother was freaking deaf.
Oh.
Like when you see a clip, it still to this day, every time I watch it, it makes me emotional. It literally was like, wow. So this is why God put me in this position to be able to help people, even when I'm at my bottom and when I didn't even know where my next dollar was coming from. I had $8,000 in the bank, and I just committed to paying this guy's 3 months of rent after getting fucked by Jay. So people don't understand my mindset. I don't worry about myself. I'm like, I'm truly here like to do something bigger. And I understand that helping other people gets you where you want to go. Most people come in with this like me, let me just do me. I was coming in and I'm truly people, but it's our turn. I mean it. So this gentleman now, he's made 6 figures plus. He can take care of his family. Like his whole life changed.
Do these people ever come back and like fruit you?
No, I don't want nothing. I want you to win. Okay. Every one of my students, and I can talk about, I have literally in the last 3 years have put over $10 million in success stories. I'm not talking bullshit. $10 million. I got people that are millionaires, Black, white, Hispanic. I've done it. Like, I don't care who's in this business. There's not many people that can say in the last couple of years they've done what I've done, and I've never taken a penny from these people. I don't want a dime of your success. I want you to be successful. I want you to win. Like, I can literally show you DM at a DM of people that send me, hey, Tony, I just made $25,000. I made $50,000.
I was going to ask, what's the most that any of your
I had a young guy here.
Mentees.
Young guy out of Atlanta, $90,679 in his first deal. 20 years old, 21 years old.
Now, how would a deal like that happen? Because that sounds a little too good to be true.
Those are home runs, and those are too good to be true for the most part.
Break down what type of deal that is.
So typically, that comes in a position where you find a property where somebody is, first off, super motivated to sell. Then you find a buyer who you can create a bidding frenzy. So typically, what people do is they find one buyer. What I teach my students is to create a buying frenzy, right? Don't limit yourself to one person. Hey, look, if I got 15 people, 10, 20 people on my list that I know are looking to buy properties, I'm going to say, hey, all y'all come join me at 4 o'clock at this address. Best offer gets a deal. So now you ain't got buyers that's going to be lowballing you, because if they want that property, what are they going to do? They're going to come correct. So now if you got a deal that you actually acquired properly, now you got a bidding frenzy on the opposite, and you're winning on both sides. So if you buy the deal the right way, first and foremost, right, that gives you the first opportunity to be able to make profit. So if I'm talking to a homeowner and they're motivated and the property needs work, I always try to negotiate the best possible deal where I have options. I want to be able to say, hey, look, if I want to keep this property, if I want to sell this property, or if I just want to flat out wholesale it. Like, I get the option based off how I acquire it. Now, obviously, if you're a wholesaler, you don't have a lot of money, you're going to come in with a mindset of like, okay, let me just be able to flip my contract and get out of it. But I teach my students to always be versatile, where you can come in with a mindset to be able to look at multiple ways to be able to get rid of this property. So it started off in 2019. I had one of my students Chris Gilmore, he came in, dude was struggling like crazy. He had a property, the lady was up for foreclosure. He ended up putting under contract where that deal potentially for him was going to make him about 20 grand. Well, he mistakenly had a highest and best sale. He had all the buyers come in by accident at the same time. And before he knew it, this deal turned into $77,000. And that was where, like, it really kind of opened up for me. Like, it was an accident on my students' part, but it opened up for me, like, hey, this should be a strategy that we kind of, like, really push to more people as far as creating this frenzy amongst our buyers, right? Because if you got one or two people, right, they can say, hey, look, well, that's wrong with the house, I don't want it. But when you got multiple people, now it's like kind of what's happening in the Miami market. If you go in there, like, you damn near making the offer, or you going at what the seller want, or you ain't getting the property.
You're not. It's totally a seller's market.
So that's what we created, was just giving people the ability to be able to come in and make massive profits and maximize how they can actually make money. So imagine now, pandemic hit. I'm teaching this strategy where people can literally make money without ever having to buy the house, never having to see the homeowner, never having to see the house, never having to leave your damn house.
How is that even possible, though? Like,
it's called Rona-proof.
That's what you call. And I saw that in Forbes. I was like, what the hell he got going on here? Talking about you ain't never got to see the seller, see the house. You basically just negotiate a deal over the phone.
Everything's done virtually over the phone. I got a 10-step system that basically you follow.
Okay.
I tell you exactly who to call. I tell you what to say to them. I'm telling you, literally, my webinar, I have the best free webinar that you can ever see, because literally people that come from my free training, I tell you exactly what to do. I don't want you to come in. Most people could do these free trainings just to sell you shit. I do have a program that you can buy, but I tell people, I want you to be able, if you come into my training and don't have the money or the finances, I still want you to win. So come in, take this information. If you use it, it'll work for you. So I'll tell you who to call, what to say to them, how to say it to them, everything. I tell you the exact source where I found them, because to me, it's like, it's not a limited information. Most people are too lazy to do it in the first place. You can give somebody all the game, but most people are so lazy, they're not going to do it.
How do you have all the time to teach all these people? Where do you find the time?
After a while, you don't have to repeat yourself anymore. I got smart. It was all about automation. It was all about, okay, I know what questions people were asking me. So I started off and I was doing like a live webinar every single week where I was kind of like 4 hours every single week. I was just pouring in and I was wearing myself out because you know, obviously like doing the same shit, you get bored. So what I said, like, let me systemize, let me automate it. And then I started putting it where people could go at their own leisure, go watch it, and then obviously consume and do the steps. And it blew up. And then, you know, obviously people wanted more. They was like, hey, I want your contracts, Tony. I want you to help me. I want you to teach me. So that's when I actually got into the actual portal of actually like going through and like, I got a community now of like 40,000 plus people.
That's really good.
It's crazy.
That's really good. And a lot of them are making money, I take it, learning.
I mean, the reality is like in any program, you got people that just not going to do anything, right? But the people that actually come into my program are serious and actually do it. My success rate is unbelievable. Okay. I have like confidently I can
now
walk
where
around.
Can they go to get reviews? Like, you know, because that's a big thing. Like, you know, you have people that are versatile and you know, it's like you just never know who to trust. And I'm not saying not to trust you, but where can they go to get true reviews on what it is that you can do? Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, some people are coming to you with their last, like, and they're trusting you. Like,
first thing, if you got your last, I always say, don't spend a damn dollar with me. I don't want your last. Okay. I've given away more free programs than you know, like for even like my paid membership. When somebody tells me like, hey, I just spent all my money, like I'm like, hey, I don't want you in here. It's not going to be a good fit because you're already in a position where you're going to be acting out of desperation. I don't want you in that position. So let's get you in a place where you can actually be comfortable, where you can actually, people out in desperate positions don't typically perform well. So I've given out my program to thousands of people free. Okay. Now, my people that are actually coming in and they're like, you know, invested and they're in this program, like, couple of things I do that like really try to make sure like success is super high. I call you the fuck out. So we have a weekly list we pull from like. What do you
mean like call them the fuck out?
Come on my calls, you'll see. I'm straightforward. Like if you come in, you say you want to win, don't come in my program if you're soft because I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Because I want you to win.
But what if people like on their like last leg, they depressed, they you know what I'm saying?
Nobody felt bad for me when I didn't have shit. Okay. Ain't nobody come save Tasha K. Ain't nobody gonna come save me.
That's true.
Nobody's coming to save anybody. Superman don't exist. The reality is that if you want something different in your life, look at your bank account, look at your situation and say, is that what you want? You want something different. Okay. It's the reality. Okay. So for me, like I'll get on a call and I'll look up and I'll pull up my list. Everybody that didn't do shit. I'll go look. Hey, who didn't log in? Who didn't actually go in and watch the actual videos that you spent $300, $400, $500, $1,000 or whatever it is for my training? Like, I don't care what you paid for it, what you invested. Why haven't you actually went through the program of what you put your money into? I'll call you the fuck out. Because like a lot of y'all talk about, I want success. I want the rings. I want the whatever it is that they want in their life. Okay. But when the action has to match what they say they want, shit comes short. And I'll call you out. That's why my students truly love me. They're like, he's crazy. He's going to say the shit that most people are like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. Like maybe they got, hey man, you want to be where the fuck you at forever? If you do, keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I mean, it's good that you're honest. And listen, Tony, I love your energy. I love what you're doing. Like I said, I've been following you. And if it wasn't for that Jason Lee situation, I would have never known who you were. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so I've been watching you and I was just like, let me bring him in because, I do want to drop at least a weekly session on, with different experts such as yourself who happen to be Black and who, I haven't seen or Googled anybody that has said, I've been scammed, I've been this, I've been that. And I do look for that kind of stuff, sure. Okay? Before anybody actually sits here, because at the end of the day, like I want them to say, listen, this is a person that you brought and I trusted you. And so just know you're going to be getting a lot of, support. I'm sure a lot of feedback from the winos here, and just make sure you take care of them. Okay.
That's one thing. Okay? I told you personally, like when I didn't know much about you prior to the whole Jason Lee thing.
Likewise, we just like.
So we like literally as that shit was going down, somebody messaged me like, yo, hit Tasha K because she had something else going on. And I didn't, I really try to stay away from a lot of the riffraff because I be really wanting smoke. I'm I'm gonna go too far. I'm gonna go too far.
I've seen you on Twitter. Okay?
I go too far.
I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen you. I'm like, Tony, you need some anger management glasses. Like the way you be going, like motherfucker, I'm like, damn. So
I go too far. I'm aware. So like I really try to like manage how much I really get involved in stuff because I'm passionate. And I know like definitely when it comes to like when somebody comes on an attack, I know what I stand for. I know what I'm here for. Everything I did was I came in here with a pure heart.
Okay.
Integrity. Like my whole mission wasn't to get rich. My mission was to make impact. I didn't even have a thought of selling courses or doing any of that shit. My thing was like, yo, I just came out of jail. Let me tell people like the domestic violence, like what we go through in the household, like that was more of what my mission was. Real estate just happened to be a vehicle that allowed me to get both done at the same time.
Yeah.
So like for me, like I came on the scene. I think my story touched people more than my actual. The real estate piece like pushed me to a higher level because obviously making people money along the journey always creates more attention. But I came here because I think God sent me in a position and put me in a position to impact people deeper. Because we don't have people in our community that come from a pure place. Like these niggas will come on here and talk about how they about people and everything else, and then they're scamming and stealing from the very same people that they say they care about. The same people that they brother this and brother that, and it's fake as hell, king, queen, all that bullshit. So for me, I said, hey, I wanted just to come from a place where people could truly say, hey, this man is here and he ain't looking for nothing from me. This is like a family member. This is somebody I know like really is helping people do something bigger than himself. And that's all I wanted. All right. The money came as a byproduct of what I was doing. After a while, you start looking, you start seeing people come in, you see the results. I mean, millions of dollars coming behind me. I'm like, shit, I should put a price on my program. I went a year and a half.
You've monetized it well. I got to give you that. You know what I'm saying?
I ran up a bag.
Yeah. And I do got to vouch for you. You didn't come in all iced up. You didn't come in. I saw you on Instagram because we do have a lot of those that come in here and it's like, really? You know, they throwing the cash. They got the jewelry. You came in with a sweatshirt on and I was just like, okay, he looked different from how his Instagram is. And then you went and changed and you was just like, look, this is for show. I ain't trying to get God.
Don't mean nothing to me.
Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to even, fly here, to be here, to educate the winos and to, just have, a path carved out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to know that there are options. There are genuine people out here that truly want to help. And so tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, so that if they're interested in what you're doing and they want to learn more, just let them know.
Sure. So first and foremost, Instagram and Twitter, YouTube, all Tony the Closer, TonyTheCloser, excuse me. My program is Rona Proof, so RONAPROOF.com. Okay. I have both a ebook, which is $7. I have a hard copy, it's $37. I have right now the full program, which typically I was selling for $3,500, is $200. Oh, damn. So all the winos, y'all want to get in? You don't get no better than that. Okay. But that's lifetime access. It gives you all the material. That's the courses, the content, the contracts, everything. I wanted it to be affordable to anybody. Most people try to, go out here and I realized real quickly, I was selling my program at $3,500, and I did it for a reason at first because I wanted to. When I first came out, I was like, all right, I spent this amount of money on my contract. I spent this much, so I was trying to piece it together where people could make sense. But then I realized so many people were getting, eliminated from access. Yeah. And that was the one thing I didn't want to do was kind of make my program where it wasn't accessible to the masses. So I was like, all right, let's cut the price down. Let's make it where it's affordable and accessible. Then I watched the growth happen. It was just many, many people coming in. The success came behind it. So to me, really, the price point, $197.
I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, $3,500, $197. I mean, and it's your work. So I'm a true believer in paying somebody for their work. So
100%.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely have you back in studio. Tony the Closer, guys. Look at that camera right there. That's your camera right there. And let everybody know. And thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, Tasha.
All right.
Peace.
That's it.
Cool.
Now, you're an easy interview. Real easy. Some people, I got that.
I'm not talking shit.
What was that, like right at an hour? It should have been like right at... Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, and it's a...